Throughout history, eunuchs have held significant roles in various cultures and societies. From ancient empires to royal courts, their presence was undeniable. Eunuchs were often trusted advisors, skilled administrators, and guardians of sacred spaces.
Their unique social standing stemmed from their physical condition, which was often the result of castration before puberty. This practice, while seemingly brutal by today's standards, held different cultural and societal implications in the past.
Ancient texts, including religious scriptures, provide glimpses into the lives and roles of eunuchs. In some cultures, they were revered for their perceived closeness to the divine. They were seen as intermediaries between the earthly and spiritual realms. Their physical condition was not viewed as a deficiency, but rather as a sign of their unique status and spiritual connection.
Eunuchs were often entrusted with sensitive positions, reflecting the trust placed in them. Their contributions to society were significant and multifaceted. Eunuchs served as high-ranking officials, military commanders, and custodians of harems. They played vital roles in politics, diplomacy, and the arts.
The absence of traditional family ties allowed them to devote themselves fully to their duties. They were often perceived as more loyal and less prone to corruption than their non-castrated counterparts. It is important to approach history with sensitivity and understanding. The practice of castration, while unacceptable by today's standards, was woven into the fabric of these ancient societies.
To fully grasp the lives of eunuchs, we must delve into their world with empathy and acknowledge their humanity. They were not merely historical footnotes, but individuals who navigated complex social structures and left their mark on history.
The path to becoming a eunuch varied across cultures and time periods. In some instances, it was a fate chosen out of necessity or ambition, while in others, it was a consequence of war, enslavement, or punishment. Regardless of the circumstances, the process was undoubtedly a life-altering one, both physically and socially.
The age at which one became a eunuch varied. Some boys underwent the procedure before puberty, while others were castrated later in life. The methods used were often crude and carried significant risks, including infection, pain, and even death. The physical consequences were irreversible, leading to distinct physiological changes that set eunuchs apart from the rest of society.
Despite the sacrifices involved, eunuchs often rose to positions of great power and influence. They were valued for their perceived loyalty, discretion, and administrative skills. In many empires, they held sway over vast resources, managed complex bureaucracies, and played pivotal roles in courtly affairs. Their influence extended far beyond the palace walls, shaping the course of history in profound ways.
It is crucial to remember that behind the titles and positions, eunuchs were individuals with their own aspirations, dreams, and desires. They were not mere pawns in the game of power, but complex individuals who navigated a world that both revered and marginalized them. Their stories, often untold or relegated to the footnotes of history, deserve to be heard and understood. The shift in perception of eunuchs from veneration to stigma is a complex and multifaceted process. Over time, societal values and norms evolved, and the once revered eunuchs found themselves facing increasing marginalization and discrimination.
This change was influenced by various factors, including the rise of new religious and cultural ideologies that viewed the physical condition of eunuchs as unnatural or even sinful. The very traits that once granted them unique status now became sources of stigma.
The decline of empires and the rise of modern nation-states also played a role in this shift. As societies moved towards new forms of governance and social organization, the roles that eunuchs once occupied diminished or disappeared altogether.
It's, important to recognize that this shift didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process influenced by a myriad of social, political, and cultural changes. The legacy of this transformation continues to impact the perception of eunuchs and, by extension, modern transgender individuals today.
Understanding this history is essential in addressing the ongoing challenges faced by transgender and non-binary people. By acknowledging the past, we can work towards a more inclusive and empathetic future. Throughout history, transgender individuals have faced significant societal backlash, much like the eunuchs of ancient times.
It's really heartbreaking to see how the struggles of transgender people today mirror those of eunuchs in the past. The societal rejection, the discrimination, it's all too familiar.
Yes, and despite the progress we've made, there are still many hurdles to overcome. The stigma and prejudice persist, affecting the lives of countless individuals.
Indeed, it's a stark reminder that while we've come a long way, there's still much work to be done to ensure true acceptance and equality. Moving forward, it's crucial that we foster a culture of understanding and acceptance.
Absolutely. We need to, educate people about the history and experiences of transgender individuals. It's about building empathy and breaking down those barriers of ignorance.
And let's not forget societal values evolve. By promoting inclusivity and respect, we can create a more compassionate world for everyone.
Together, through education and advocacy, we can make a difference. It's time to embrace diversity and support the rights of all individuals, regardless of their gender identity.